Hello my yogis, welcome to today's practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know, if you have it available, we will be practicing with 2 blocks today. If you don't have 2 blocks, not a big deal, I can cue some poses without them. If you do have them, we're going to go ahead and get started on our backs. So there are a few options what we could do. The first option is we don't use blocks at all in this position or throughout our practice. The second option, if we would like to, is we're going to take the blocks and we're going to stack them so that one block lines up right with the middle of our upper back, and then the second block supports our head. So it'll look a little bit like this. And you might have to change the height of each one of the blocks to find a space that works for you. The lower block is in between those shoulder blades, and that upper block is right at the base of the skull. So when we're here, we find that that heart rolls open, the palms open to the sky. And we can do whatever feels most comfortable with those knees. Most commonly, we'll have the knees bent, feet on the earth. Another option here, if we maybe only have one block or this doesn't feel comfortable, is we'll place the back on the mat, lift the pelvis, and then that block sits right under the pelvis, not the lower back. It's directly beneath the hips. And again, palms roll open to the sky, knees can be bent here, or if we'd like, Supta Baddha Konasana, bring those feet together and open the knees. This is a nice deep hip opener. So take a second, choose wherever we'd like to be. Slowly settling into today's practice. The eyes are closed. The jaw is nice and soft. We'll start to wash away the moments that brought us to this time right here. And kind of close off our thoughts to whatever moments may happen when we walk off our mat. We have 30 minutes just to be here in this moment, so maybe we start to listen to the sounds surround us. Maybe that's a playlist of music. Maybe you hear the cicadas outside like I do right now. Begin to notice the breath. The inhale moves in through the nose, swirls around the back of the throat, gently fills that belly with air. And the exhale, that belly collapses back down towards the earth. We'll begin our body scan. So we're checking in with the body to see if there's any body parts we're taking care of, and also if there's any places we're holding tension that we need to release and let go. Starting with the crown of the head, we'll move down to the brows, softening in through the forehead. The cheeks are soft, the jaw is soft. The shoulders are away from the ears, palms rounding open to the sky. Softening down in through the chest, the belly, the hips. Checking down through the toes and the fingertips. Take one more nice deep breath here. And exhale. Wherever we are, very slowly we'll begin to remove the blocks and release that back, the hips all the way down onto the mat. We'll take the knees into the chest, hug them in tight, and just gently rock side to side, waking up that lower back. Stopping in the center, and then we'll draw the nose to the knees. Little tiny person ball. Release back down. Keeping those knees in towards the chest, roll those shoulder blades flat underneath the upper back. Open the arms out to a T, palms face the sky. We're going to take those knees and just let them fall to the left, trying to keep that right shoulder on the mat. If this doesn't work, if this feels uncomfortable, we can always place a block under the knees for a little added support. So remember, we're letting go of any tension in the hips, the shoulders, the back. Practice that right here. And then using our core strength, we'll draw those knees back up to center, using hands for help if we need to. And then we're going to switch. Those knees are going to start to release to the right. Left shoulder tries to stay on the mat. Pulling those knees back up to center. Hug them in nice and tight, little tiny person ball. One more time. The nose rounds to the knees. Get a big curve into that spine. And then we're going to make our way up to an easy seated pose. We could cross the ankles and rock our way up, or just get there however it makes most sense for us. We'll start with that right leg in front or on top of the left. So try to stack the shoulders over those sits bones. So gently guiding the shoulders back until you feel that pelvis tilt, the tailbone tuck under, and you feel the weight of the shoulders stack right over the hips. Roll the shoulders back and down, settle in. Lengthening out through the crown of the head, nice long spine. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. We're going to take that right hand and we're going to push the palm away from the body. Out to the side. Notice the stretch in the bicep. Notice how the more we try to angle those fingertips towards the sky, the deeper the stretch is. Inhale here. Exhale, start to round the chin to the chest. Nice and slow. Releasing those right fingertips down to the earth. And then rounding the right ear to the right shoulder. On the next inhale, we'll pull that head back up to center. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach up and lengthen the spine. Palms separate. On the exhale, we'll fall forward. I'm going to keep my head elevated just slightly so you can hear my voice, but we should be rounding the crown of the head all the way down towards the earth, almost tucking that chin into the chest, looking towards the belly button. The upper body's soft. We're not holding any tension in the arms or the hands. The neck is especially soft and relaxed. Big inhale here. Feel that back expand. On the exhale, the tailbone tucks under. We slowly roll up, stack one vertebrae at a time. Hands onto the knees. Inhale, open that heart for seated cow. And exhale, curl under, seated cat. One more time. Inhale, open up. And exhale, curl. One more place to be here. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to make big circles with the upper body, first moving in a clockwise motion. Inhaling when we roll that heart open to the front. Keep the heart nice and low. And exhale when we curl into that back. Big C into the spine. Trying to keep the movement slow, deep, and steady so we're not throwing the body around. When we use momentum, we're not really using the strength of our body to control our movements. We could incur some injury just throwing our bodies around. One more nice big circle. And then we'll find our way back to center. Let's switch those legs. Left leg is in front or on top. Sitting nice and tall. Again, stack the shoulders over the hips. Tuck that tailbone under. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Left palm pushes away from the center of the body. So if this shoulder, the arm, the bicep is tight, we might notice that we jerk that shoulder up a little bit when extending the palm away. Make that conscious effort to drop the shoulder down. Point the fingertips to the sky. Inhale here. On the exhale, we start to round the chin towards the chest. Notice any changes in sensation. And then slowly releasing those fingertips to the mat as we round the ear to the shoulder on the left side. Coming back up to center. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, lengthen, palms separate. Exhale, let's fall forward. Round through, release tension here. On the next exhale, we'll tuck the tailbone under, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Hands come on top of the knees. Inhale, roll the heart open for seated cow. Exhale, big C curve into that spine for seated cat. One more in either direction. And exhale. Back to center. Big upper body circles moving in the opposite direction, so counterclockwise. Still inhaling when we open the heart, drop it down low. And exhale, curling into the back. Also keeping the shoulders low on either side. We'll feel a nice stretch into the opposite hip. One more big circle here. And then we'll come back up to center. Let's roll forward to all fours, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over top of those knees. And then we're going to hinge the hips back into our extended child's pose. The fingertips reach all the way to the top of the mat. Palms press into the earth. Forehead rounds down to the mat. As always, if our forehead doesn't reach the mat here, we could use stacked fists or a block. What we're trying to do is let that forehead find a space to rest so that we can release in through that cervical spine. The head is heavy. Deep breath into the back. And exhale. If our hands were on stacked fists, we'll re-extend the fingers back to the top of the mat. Inhale, let's lift up to our modified plank. So find our alignment first. Shoulders pull back away from the ears. Shoulders stack over top of those wrists. Knees are far back behind the hips. Exhale, hinge back, extended child's pose. Inhale, lift up. Modified plank. Exhale, hinge back, extended. Inhale, lift up last time. This time on the exhale, elbows move backwards. So rotate the bend of the elbows to the front of the mat. On the exhale, start to lower that heart. Elbows move back. Release all the way down. And then inhale, peel the heart up. Little tiny baby cobra. Shoulders pull away from the ears. Hands lift up off the mat. Pressing the tops of the feet into the earth. If we'd like, we could grab a chest expansion, interlacing those hands behind the back, lengthen the arms, roll the heart open. Exhale, release. Hands come back underneath the shoulders, pull the elbows in, push up, hinge back, extended child's pose. We're going to start to tuck that tailbone under, roll everything up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. This is on one inhale, lifting up to the knees, sweep the hands up to the sky. On the exhale, hands sweep down to the sides, hips hinge back, arms extend back into extended child's pose. We're going to flow that movement a few times. Inhale, start to lift up, stack the shoulders over the hips, and then we rise up onto our knees. Fingertips sweep up to the sky. Exhale, fingers release down, hinge the hips back, and reach those fingertips forward. Inhale, roll up, stack the shoulders. You might get a little snapshot of my kitty right now. He's sniffing out the camera. Reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, release those hands down to the sides. Hinge the hips back. Re-extend those arms to the top of the mat. We're going to rest here. Forehead is on the earth. On the next inhale, let's take those hands. We'll walk them off the left side of the mat. Push the hip away. Right hand stacks on top of the left. You're blocking the camera, bud. Hi. Next move, the hands come back to center. Inhale, hands walk off the right side of the mat. Left hand stacks on top. Push the hips away. And we'll come back to center. Let's start to move into the backs of the legs, okay? We'll lift up to our modified planks. Tuck the toes, and then exhale, find our down dog. Start to pedal the feet out, alternate releasing one heel to the mat, bend the opposite knee. Tailbone rotates to the sky, and then we'll release both heels to the mat, extend the legs. Hold here for a moment. If we were to move our head side to side, our ears would touch our biceps, so the gaze is always down towards the toes. Keep pressing those heels into the mat. Inhale, let's shift forward to plank. Check out our alignment. So our shoulders should be stacked over those wrists, pushing back through the heels. Nice straight line from the crown of the head all the way down to the heels. Exhale, let's lift back up. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Pedal the feet out one more time. We're going to sweep that right leg up to the sky. Get a nice stretch here. Let the body weight come into that left heel. Press the heel into the earth. And then exhale. Sweep that right foot to the top of the mat. Remember, we can use a hand if we need a friend to help us get there. Drop the left knee. Come to the top of the foot. So take a second here. This is a great place for those 2 blocks we talked about earlier. Right knee is bent. We want to keep a nice long heart. Create some space in that upper body. So we can take those 2 blocks, bring them back closer to the hips, sit up nice and tall, and in stacking the heart right over the hips, you'll notice a gentle pressure in that left hip flexor. Hinge the hips back, lengthen the right leg, and point the toes to the sky. Still a great space for 2 blocks. Nice long line through the crown of the head. Drawing that right hip back next to the left. We're going to release the blocks here if we have them. And then we're going to take both hands, step them inside of that right leg, okay? From here, we're going to start to twist our body to the left. So the right leg stays extended out, toes point to the side of the mat, heels point back. And then our left hip stacks over top of that left knee. So we're moving into our side plank. Left hand is right underneath the left shoulder. Now remember, because of the way I moved, I am not mirroring you. I'm facing the opposite direction as you. Just keep that in mind. Right fingertips reach all the way up to the sky. Press the sole of the right foot into the earth. If we'd like to deepen the stretch, maybe we take that right arm and extend it over the ear. Palm faces down. On the next inhale, let that right arm swim all the way up. Bring us up to sitting. Left fingertips reach up to the sky. From here, both hands come on top of the hips. Make sure that left knee is in line with the right foot. We're going to start to hinge the heart forward, release the hands down. So find your pose here, find your stretch here. It should feel a beautiful opening into the inner right thigh. If we'd like, maybe we sit the hips back, keep pressing the sole of the foot into the earth, keep rounding down through the outer edge of that right foot. Maybe being up on the knee is enough. Maybe we'd like a little more space and we can use 1 or 2 blocks to keep that heart lifted. Yoga is a process of discovering ourselves, a process of reminding ourselves to find what works for us, not what works for our neighbor, not what works for our teacher. So take your time and really listen to what your body's asking for. We're going to release back down. Take those right toes, point them back to the front of the mat. Start to walk the hands back to the front, bending into that right knee again, so we're in our low lunge once more. Plant the hands into the earth, tuck that left toe. High lunge here. Option to be on the blocks. Option to have the hands on top of the right thigh to heart center. Or maybe we extend those arms all the way up. Get a little tiny back bend. Wherever we are, we're engaging that left quad, pushing back through the heel. If we need to take a moment of rest, we could drop that left knee down. Hands are going to come back down to the mat on either side of that left foot. Now listen up here. We're going to step the left foot forward, but we're going to draw it to the outside of the right leg. So, left leg is behind the right, left leg moves outside of the right leg, and we release that heart down into our forward fold. Nice stretch into the back of the left leg, but also opening in VIT band. Let the head be heavy here. And then we'll take that left leg and move it back to where it normally is, stacked right next to that right foot. Inhale, let's peel up to our flat back. Again, a great place for a block. Gets us a little bit higher, a little more opening. Reach out through the crown of the head. Exhale, release and round down. The upper back is heavy. Inhale, lift up to our flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, fingertips sweep up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, flat back again. Exhale, we'll plant the hands into the mat. Let's step both legs back to plank. Drop the knees for modified plank. Slowly lower that heart. Exhale, and then inhale, push up and open to our Bhujangasana. Roll the shoulders back. Keep some tension in that belly to protect the lower back. Exhale, hinge the hips back. Extended child's pose. Round the forehead down towards the earth. Remember, stacked fists are always a good option here. Re-extending those fingertips back to the top of the mat. Inhale, we'll lift up, tuck the toes. Exhale, down dog. Pedal those feet out. This time the left leg lifts all the way up to the sky. Let the body weight come into that right heel. Feel the opening through the back of the leg. Inhale here. Exhale, step that left foot all the way to the top of the mat. Drop the right knee. Again, another great place for 2 blocks. And as always, if we don't have blocks accessible, we could use shoe boxes, something that looks similar to this. Shoebox probably wouldn't have felt great in that opening pose, but we kind of play around, see what we have in our house. Drop those hips nice and low, open into that right hip flexor. And then we'll hinge the hips back, extend the left leg, toes point to the sky. We might need to walk the blocks back a little bit. Left hip draws back to level out with the right. Toes continue to flex towards the face. We'll release those blocks. Hands come inside of the left leg, starting to twist towards the right. Extending that left leg out, right heel comes behind the knee. So I'm going to turn just so I can face you. No confusion here. Stacking the right hip over top of the right knee. Again, I'm not mirroring you. Moving into our side plank. The right hand comes under the right shoulder. Roll that left shoulder open and extend the fingers to the sky. If we'd like a little deeper stretch in the hip, maybe we extend that left arm over the ear. Using that left arm, we'll swim our way all the way up. Torso stacks over the hips. Right fingertips reach up to the sky. Both hands come onto those hips. Left toes are facing the side mat. Heels are stacked back. We're going to drop that heart down and release the hands. Again, wherever we'd like to be here. Up on the fingers, up on a block. Dropping down, hinging back. It's all about finding our stretch. Wherever we are, maybe we could rotate those left toes to the sky. Maybe we keep them down. And whatever we did on the opposite side, we don't have to do here. About listening to which side wants what. When we're ready, we'll come back up. We're going to start to walk our hands to that left foot. Point the toes to the front of the mat. Bend into that left knee. So we're in our low lunge once more. We'll extend that right leg and prepare for our high lunge. Fingers on the earth, fingers on a block. Maybe hands to heart center, or maybe the hands extend up to the sky. Keep engaging that right quad and pushing back through the heel. Hands come down. We're going to take that right foot, step it outside of the left foot into our forward fold with a little modification. Drop the heart, round the nose to the knee. Get that opening in the back of the legs. Let that head hang loose. Maybe we nod our head yes. Maybe we shake our head no. And then we'll draw that right foot next to the left where it normally rests in our forward fold. So remembering that in our forward fold, our weight shifts forward towards the balls of the feet. We're not lifting the heels, nothing fancy, just shifting forward to let that upper body be nice and heavy. Let's peel up, inhale to our flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep the fingers up to the sky. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Let's turn and open to the side of the mat. Toes are out, heels are in. Inhale, we'll reach the arms up to the sky. On the exhale, let's sit down. So find your alignment first. You might need to open the feet a little wider, might need to bring them back in. So the hips and the shoulders are stacked. We're not leaning the heart forward. Drop the hips nice and low, and then extend the arms out to the side, shoulders down away from the ears. Hold here. We'll drop that left forearm on top of the thigh, extend the right arm over the ear. I am mirroring you here, so you and I should be moving in the same direction. Inhale, let's lift back up to center. And then exhale, drop the right forearm to the thigh, left arm extends over the ear. Back up to center. Hold here for one more breath. If we'd like, maybe we lift the heels up off of the mat. Drop them back down. Hands to the hips, lengthen the legs. Stepping back to the top of our mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands into the mat. Walk or jump back to plank. Drop those knees. Slowly lower the heart. Exhale. Inhale, push up and open to our cobra. Exhale, hinge the hips back, extended. Draw those hands back next to the heels. Let the forehead rest on the earth. Re-extending those fingertips, let's lift up to all fours, stacking the shoulders with the wrists, the hips, and the knees. Tuck the toes under, and we're just going to lift those knees a few inches up off of the mat. Keep the belly button towards the spine, shoulders pull away from the ears. Drop the knees, untuck the toes. Hinge the hips back, extended. Inhale, we'll lift up, stack the shoulders over the wrists, knees behind hips for our modified plank. Slowly lower the heart, release all the way down. Lifting up into our Sphinx pose. Elbows are under the shoulders. Forearms are parallel with one another. Palms press into the earth. Roll the heart back. Shine the collarbone to the front of the mat. and release. Hands under the elbows, hands under the shoulders, elbows pull in, push up to all fours. We're going to take the right knee and step it behind the left. Open those feet out and have a seat. I'm going to switch my position just so I am mirroring you here. So what we're looking for is we're trying to get those knees on top of one another, allowing both sits bones to still plug into the mat. So you might look like this, right? Totally normal, it's fine. All that means is that our hips are tight, maybe our glutes are tight, maybe our lower back is tight. We're working on it, right? Sit up nice and tall here. Maybe this is enough for us. If we'd like a little bit more tension, a little bit more stretch, release. We start to roll that heart forward. Keep a long spine. It should be pretty intense. Back up. Let's take both legs, extend them out in front of us. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, draw the heart towards the knees, hinge forward. Option is to use a strap here, placing it on the soles of the feet. Draw those elbows in towards the center of the body. We want to make sure we're not scrunching the ears up to the shoulders. Press the backs of the knees into the earth and point the toes to the sky. We'll come back up. Let's roll the feet behind us again, back onto all fours. This time, the left knee steps behind the right. We open the toes, and we have a seat in between the feet. Maybe move the flesh out from underneath of the sits bones, trying to stack the knees. Again, if you look like this, that's totally fine as long as both hips, both sits bones are plugging into the earth. If we can, maybe we try to open those feet forward just a little bit more. Grabbing those feet, rolling the shoulders back. Maybe we start to roll the heart towards the thighs. Again, not rounding into the spine. Keep grounding down through the pelvis and lengthening out through the crown of the head. Back up. Crisscross applesauce, sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down a few times. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, fingers and chin lift to the sky, and exhale, back to heart center. I thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your day with me. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Namaste.